Hey everybody, I'm Aaron Simmons. This is Philosophy for Where We Find Ourselves, June 25th, 2020. Today I want to talk about the epistemic stakes of democracy. Now, that's a fancy way of saying that democracy works only because we have a citizenry, a populace, that is committed to the importance of seeking truth and giving good reasons for the beliefs that they hold. Why is that the case? Well, here I actually have learned quite a bit from the political philosopher Robert Talisse. Talisse argues that democracy is uniquely suited, or at least the best account we have so far, of what it means for a society to empower its people with epistemic responsibility. Society works only when all of us are vocally engaged with its working. Now, in order to pull this off, it's important, says Talisse, for us to recognize that we've got to then do the work required of us as epistemic agents. We can't simply act on whim. We've got to care about good reasons and go forward in light of the reasons that we have for the beliefs that we think, in fact, are probably the closest to truth. The philosopher Plato suggested that democracy was a bad idea, in fact, because it empowered the people with such epistemic roles. He thought that you had to be expert in the working of political life. You had to be somebody who cultivated the life of the mind, who cared about truth to such a degree that you then sought it above all. That's why he argues for the importance of philosopher kings, so that those who ruled, who had power, were also those who knew the most about how to do well the job for which they've been empowered. Plato thought that when you give that epistemic role to everyone, you've in fact invited a tyranny of the masses, because the majority of people will not do what's required to educate themselves, to seek out criticism, to wrestle with the hard work of loving truth, and be willing to be corrected in the process of public discourse, rather than simply seeking their own power, their own status, and their own vision. We find ourselves today in a situation where that epistemic backdrop for democratic life is being eroded day after day after day. We've seen this over the last 3 years in particular. When Trump was first elected, one of the first things he did was, in fact, tell a falsehood about the inauguration crowd. As soon as that happened, notice the idea that he was committed to truth and was willing to be corrected in light of good objections from others who were doing the hard work of gathering evidence, that went out the window. He continued this, unfortunately, in his assault on the media, which is, even if biased in many different ways, the important protector of social critique as a mode of democratic life. When he eschews public health experts and instead just appeals to his own whims about medicine, this is one of those other moments where it erodes the public trust required in order for all of us to move forward in responsible ways. That's not a way of engaging in truth-seeking. That's a way of, as Plato warned, thinking truth is nothing other than what serves your own political interest. We must do better. Democracy will fail if we abandon a love for truth and a diligent commitment to pursuing it by giving good reasons and welcoming critique, and then reinforcing the importance of social trust in expert voices. Let's love truth as we care for each other. Democracy depends on it. I'll see you tomorrow, unless a piano falls on our heads.